A consultation gets underway next week on plans for a second Scottish independence referendum, the SNP's Nicola Sturgeon has confirmed. She told the party's Glasgow conference that an independence referendum bill would be published next week. It marks the first step to holding a second vote. Ms. Sturgeon said Scotland had the right to choose a different path if it was not allowed to protect its interests within the UK. The first Scottish independence referendum, which took place on September 18, 2014, resulted in 55% of voters saying no. Ms. Sturgeon told delegates that Scotland had the right to seek something better if there were prospects of an unstable future as part of the UK. She said, "I am determined that Scotland will have the ability to reconsider the question of independence and to do so before the UK leaves the EU, if that is necessary to protect our country's interests. So, I can confirm today that the Independence Referendum Bill will be published for consultation next week." On June 24, the day after the UK voted to leave the EU, Ms. Sturgeon said a second independence referendum was highly likely. Those who voted in Scotland backed remaining in Europe by 62% to 38%, while the UK as a whole backed leave, by a margin of 52% to 48%. However, Scottish Secretary David Mundell called on Ms. Sturgeon to commit her government to working constructively with the UK government to seize the opportunities that will bring, not taking Scotland back to the divisive constitutional debates of the past. He said, "Constant talk of another independence referendum is creating uncertainty and damaging the Scottish economy at a time when our growth is lagging behind the UK as a whole." Ms. Sturgeon's opening address also saw her issue a warning that the right wing of the Tory party was seeking to hijack the EU referendum result. She told the 3,000 delegates gathered that the Tories were using the result as a license for xenophobia. Ms. Sturgeon insisted that the Prime Minister Theresa May needed to respect the 62% who voted to remain in the EU. She also confirmed that SNP MPs would oppose Brexit legislation when it comes before the House of Commons in 2017. The MSP said, "I can confirm today that SNP MPs will vote against the Brexit bill when it comes before the House of Commons next year. That bill will repeal the legislation that enacted our EU membership. Scotland didn't vote for that, and so neither will our MPs. But we will also work to persuade others, Labour, Liberals, and moderate Tories, to join us in a coalition against a hard Brexit, not just for Scotland, but for the whole UK." The Conservative Party manifesto, on which Theresa May and all other Tory MPs were elected, said this: "We are clear about what we want from Europe. We say, yes to the single market. The Prime Minister may have a mandate to take England and Wales out of the EU, but she has no mandate whatsoever to remove any part of the UK from the single market." Responding to Ms. Sturgeon's address, the Prime Minister's spokeswoman said she was absolutely committed to engaging with the people of Scotland, with understanding their interests and making sure that as we go through the process of negotiating the UK's exit, we do what's in the interest of the UK. At the beginning of the three-day conference, it was announced that SNP MP Angus Robertson had been voted the new deputy of the party. Mr. Robertson defeated Edinburgh East MP Tommy Shepherd, Alan Smith MEP and Inverclyde councillor Chris McElhinney to take 52.5% of the votes cast. About 120,000 SNP members were entitled to vote in the contest.